How to access your Kubernetes service that is running on a WSL2 machine. Normally you would do kubectl get all, get the no port, and specify the type no port or load balancer. Then you would do minikube IP, get the IP address, put the no port behind it, put it in your web browser, and access the service. But that doesn't work because WSL2 doesn't have a web browser. There, it doesn't work. So why doesn't this work now? Well, this doesn't work because this IP address is only accessible inside the cluster of minikube, and thus only accessible through this virtual machine inside WSL2. So therefore we need to make the cluster available to Windows. So how do you do that? And that's by using a proxy. To make use of the proxy, your service needs to be of the type node port or load balancer, and the node port IP needs to be also configured, and that needs to be between 30,000 and 32,000 something. Since you're opening up your whole cluster this way, we need to know a little bit more information of the location of this service. So we have the service name, and we need to know in which namespace this service is running. So to get the namespace, you do kubectl config get dash contacts. So for me it's simple K8. If you've never used a namespace before and just playing around with Kubernetes, it's probably default. You also need to know your API version. Well, this is the YAML file I used to create this service, and my API version is v1. So now that we know the API version, the namespace, and the service name, we can continue and using the proxy. So to use a proxy, you do kubectl proxy. This IP address and port you can use to access the complete cluster of, well, in my case, minikube. You can put it in your web browser, in Windows, press enter, and this, well, gives access to the whole cluster, but this is not what you want, and we need to specify a little bit more to get into the exact service. So first you specify the API, so API, well, that was v1 in my case. Then we need to specify namespaces, so /namespaces, and then my namespace was simple K8s. Then we go to the next one, and that's the services to specify, so services, and my service name was client-node-port, but we need to specify a little bit more, and that is HTTP and then a column. And it specifies that you want to access it as a browser basically. And then client-node-port, then another column, and then /proxy/, and then press enter. And this gives access to my service with the node behind it on my Windows machine and through the proxy of my WSL2 Kubernetes minikube instance.